My mother was really determined that I'd be a nurse when I was younger. I remember having that conversation with her often throughout high school. You would be a great nurse. And I've always migrated with things that I did to teaching. I mean, I used to make my little brother play school with me, and I always got to be the teacher, and I got to make up little things for him to do. And I worked with, our little groups in our church, and I was very involved in 4-H when I was younger, and I worked as a camp counselor there, and I taught canoeing and any manner of things that they asked me to teach there. And it's really, I think, what I was designed to do. I don't know so much that I chose it as it chose me. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking it was because his room was messy. Because the teenagers and the little people at my house have messy rooms. I love that age group. They're so engaged. It's so easy to get a 6-year-old's attention. And I guess their energy becomes your energy, because it's so exciting to hear them. I guess they start figuring things out. They're exuberant and they're joyful. And it's really hard to be around that kind of exuberance and that kind of joy and not get fueled by it. It's an amazing thing to be able to spend all day with these sweet little 6-year-olds who love to be there. They love to be with you. You can count how? You could count by 5s, 2s, 10s, 1s. There are so many demands on your time in the classroom, and you have many different personalities and many different levels of learning going on, children who need different things. It's very challenging to make certain that in that day you've met every child's needs in all the ways that you can. That's the biggest challenge, is trying to meet every child as an individual, knowing them as an individual, taking them where they are, and moving them to the next level when there are so many of them and there are so many other demands. All right, if I take away 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, how many are left?
7.
Absolutely. So then you can say, in our classroom, there are people that we know who can tie their shoes. There are people who can read. There are people who are really hot with math, Red Hot Chili Peppers and math. But everybody has a strength. Everybody is an expert at something. And so we try to involve that, throughout the day. So if you're my shoe tying expert, then I'm going to ask you to be my shoe tyer as we need somebody to do that. Maybe you're really great at knowing how to work that computer, but trying to find a strength for everybody, really knowing them, I think, as individuals is key to that. Asking parents at the very beginning of the year, I ask them to write me a letter about their child. What is your child's strength? What are their weaknesses? What are your goals for your child? What are things that you want to see happen this year? How do you think I can help you with that? The school can help you with that. And parents are always very open because they know their children better than anybody. And so taking that information into consideration then as I establish different, even learning goals, because for first graders particularly, it's going to be very individualized. And so all of that plays into just making sure that classroom environment is safe physically and emotionally for them to learn. How many of you were pretty close? As 6-year-olds, there's so many different things that we're after because we're trying to help them develop socially and ethically. We want them to be people of good character as they get older, and we need them to know the academics that they need to go on and succeed in that next grade at that next level. So I've got 6.5 hours with those children in my classroom, and I want to make sure that every minute of that day counts, that we're getting things done in a purposeful manner with a sense of urgency.